What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be counting down 10 songs from an artist that I absolutely adore. It's Brad Paisley. I'm making this video for two reasons. One, Brad Paisley is no longer going to be hosting the CMAs this year, and I'm like, what?
Brad, do you think that these dolls are
Anatomically correct?
Yes.
Only one way to find out. Give me faith.
I mean, I'm happy that Dolly and Reba are going to be able to host the CMAs with Carrie this year, but I love Brad. I think he's hilarious, and so let's throw him a bone and appreciate him. And two, I got to see him live this summer, and he put on an incredible show that reminded me how amazing of a catalog Brad Paisley has really had for the last 20 years, because he's been one of the defining stars of the past 2 decades of country music. So today we're going to be looking at my top 10 of his singles, and it's only going to be singles, but even just looking at singles, this is not an easy task to go through his 40-something singles that he has released in his career and try and narrow down what are the top 10. It takes a lot more work than you might expect, and for that reason, I am really thankful that we have a sponsor for today's video, and it's Keeps. 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness before they turn 35, and Keeps treatments are up to 90% effective at reducing or stopping any further hair loss. And it's super simple to get started with Keeps. All you have to do is go to their website, and you answer a few questions, snap a few photos of your hair, and a licensed physician is able to get you the right treatment for you. What's cool is that you don't have to go to a pharmacy, you don't have to wait in line, they just send a little bottle, and when you are done with them, you get a new one in the mail every 3 months. Now, my viewers can get Keeps for 40% off their first order if they go to keeps.com/Grady. That's keeps.com/GRADY. And I'm really appreciative that they're sponsoring the channel. Thanks, guys. My number 10 song is This Is Country Music.
So turn it on, turn it up.
The reason I love This Is Country Music is because it captures what makes country music special from a lyrical standpoint. The very opening line is, you're not supposed to say the word cancer in a song. That's kind of the opening salvo of this song, and what Brad is arguing is that there's all these topics that in regular music and in regular conversation, they're not hip to talk about, but country music covers serious themes. And the reason I wanted to start my list with this song is because I think as I've listened over the past week to Brad's discography over and over and over again, what's really hit me is how adult the themes are in his songs. He's actually talking about religion. He even mentions suicide. He tells stories. He talks about fatherhood. You sometimes listen to the current milieu of country music and how it's all about the tailgate and the party or going out or sealing the deal around a bonfire. You sometimes forget that this is a genre that is really special because of its storytelling and the way it can take pain and humor and marry them and make something really mature. And I think This Is Country Music is almost Brad Paisley's mission statement that he wants to do that in his music. The number 9 song on my list is Remind Me. This is a duet with Carrie Underwood, and the thing that's most interesting from a musical standpoint in this duet is the fact that it's almost a surprise duet. Sure, if you see it online and click on it, you can see that it's featuring her, but when you hear it for the first time, Carrie Underwood really comes in as a surprise. Brad is thinking about the complacency in his relationship and the fact that they've kind of lost their spark, this couple, and then Carrie Underwood just comes in with this delicate, well then remind me. This is a song that is about longing, and it's two halves of a couple that want to recapture what they once had, and they're both asking the other to remind them, I need you to be more physical with me. I need you to be more affectionate with me. I need you to show me that you love me. I like this song because it's intensely romantic and it's sad at the same time. Usually we get a lot of euphoria or we get a lot of sadness and breakups, and this is both of them, and to me it makes it so real. And I think the vocal moments, because this song soars. I don't always love when Carrie just rips a song to shreds, but this song builds really effectively and it's so beautiful. My number 8 song is I'm Gonna Miss Her.
Well, I'm gonna miss her.
Now, more than any other song on this list, I'm Gonna Miss Her is the one that got me into Brad Paisley. This was one of the songs that came on a free preview of CMT that my family got back when I was in maybe 5th or 6th grade, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. This is otherwise known as the Fishin' Song, and the first line of it is so absurd. He says, well, I love her, but I love to fish. And Brad Paisley sets up this sort of narrative where the girl is at the door saying, if you hit that fishing hole today, I'm gone by noon. You get a dramatic pause, and then you get, well, I'm gonna miss her when I get home. I died laughing the first time I heard this song because it's so fun, it's clever, and it lets you put in that puzzle piece. It doesn't say, well, I broke up with her and decided to go fish. He just says, I'm gonna miss her, and you, as a listener, are left to say, oh snap, he chose fishing. Brad Paisley takes a lot of crap for doing too many of his joke songs, and I agree that there are probably too many in his canon at this point, but this was kind of the original dad joke song that he actually put out there. And I think if you look at his musical history, the fact that he released this song as a single when he did, before it was really assured that Brad Paisley is safe, Brad Paisley can do what he wants, he was a fledgling little star, and he had to argue to get this song released as a single to kind of help shape his persona as someone that's a little bit dangerous, a little bit humorous. I think it's really cool that he put it out there. My number 7 song is The World.
Honey, all I got to say is to the world.
I think The World is Brad Paisley's ultimate sing-along. It is just an incredibly fun song. You've got so much happening musically. And this would be a good time to say that Frank Rogers produced literally all 10 songs that are on this list. He's almost always been Brad Paisley's producer, and he does an awesome job with the Brad Paisley sound. You've got that Telecaster guitar. You've got tons of fiddle and steel, which are featured so prominently in Brad Paisley's music, and they're all given kind of their room to breathe. And I think he also captures Brad Paisley's voice really well. I don't think he does that better anywhere than on this song, where the refrain, to the world, you might be just another girl, but to me, baby, you are the world. It's so simple, and you're not dealing with a lot of complex lyrics, and I think that's why this song is allowed to be so crazy musically and so much fun to listen to. My number 6 song is We Danced.
And we danced out there on that empty hall.
We Danced was the final single off Brad Paisley's debut album. This is a song about a bartender that is cleaning up shop when a girl comes in, and he ends up striking up a conversation, and they dance in this empty bar. It's basically one big romantic set piece, but it's got a certain drama to it that makes it so classic in its sound. I think it's also really reminiscent of the type of storytelling that Brad Paisley did on that first album, on this song and on another song called He Didn't Have to Be, where there's a little more imagination. It's a little less narrative from Brad Paisley's own experience and a little more him imagining himself as a character like an old barkeep or like a stepfather on the other song that I mentioned. And it's just so romantic. How many first dances do you think that this song has probably been? At number 5, it's Wrapped Around.
It's time to put a ring on the finger I'm wrapped around.
Wrapped Around was released in 2001 as part of Brad Paisley's album Part 2, and it is truly another one of these songs that is just so musically fun to listen to. Now, what really stands out to me in this song, other than the standard, guitar work of Brad Paisley, the fiddle and steel, is the bass line. We've got this kind of like moving bass line that makes this so swingy and fun. This is a truly fun song to listen to, and it's a happy version of romance. It's time to put a ring on that finger I'm wrapped around. That's such a clever little thing where he takes that line, she's got me wrapped around her finger, and I'm going to put a ring on that finger, and just melds them into something smart and good. My number 4 song is When I Get Where I'm Going.
Yeah, when I get where I'm going.
There are only 2 songs on my top 10 list that Brad Paisley did not co-write, and this is one of them. And there are probably the 2 most serious songs that I'm going to be including on this list. When I Get Where I'm Going is a song that is imagining what heaven will be like, seeing your grandfather in the afterlife, crying happy tears. And it's so beautiful that this song, with such serious subject matter, became a big hit. I think that this song is revealing of aspects of faith that Brad Paisley often includes in his music. I don't know if it's that theologically sound of a song, but it's keeping it just vague enough that I think everyone can relate to it, whether or not they ascribe to a Christian belief. The addition of Dolly Parton on this song adds a certain gravity to it, not only because her voice has that kind of willowy delicateness, but also because she's a lot older. She is closer to death than Brad Paisley is, and I think it adds a certain gravity that a song like this really needs. This song is beautiful. I think it stirs a lot of emotions that people wonder about in their own life and as they approach their own death. I think it is just so cool that in the 2000s, this song was able to become a big universal hit. So So we're getting close to the end here. We only got 3 left. So before we jump into those 3, let's look at a few honorable mentions. You could honestly put most of Brad Paisley's discography on here, except for a few of his, newer tracks that I'm not a big fan of. But Then and She's Everything are both gorgeous and romantic love songs. They're pretty irresistible. Southern Comfort Zone, I think, is a really underrated single by Brad Paisley. Not even for the hookiness of it, because there's a lot more memorable melodies that he's put out, but just for what it represented for his album Wheelhouse, which was him exploring getting out of his southern comfort zone and thinking about the rest of the world in different perspectives. I think country music is often unfairly stereotyped as being really limited in how it sees the world, and here was a song that was attempting to venture outside of that and see the world from other perspectives. I thought a lot of the backlash that Brad Paisley got for the song Accidental Racist, which was from the same album, was kind of unfair because, or at least it was ungenerous, because this album, in its very first single, was about trying, in its own messy way, to see the world from other people's perspectives. Did he nail that on Accidental Racist? Maybe not, but I felt like, come on guys, look at the song he just put out. He's trying here to look at the world in different ways. I think the guitar work in Beat This Summer is really, really fun to listen to. And I think of all of the many joke songs that Brad Paisley has put out, and that includes stuff like Alcohol and I'm Still a Guy, and I love the tuba and I'm Still a Guy, my favorite of those is definitely Celebrity. Celebrity is a song that I think is really prescient and captured a lot of the angst and weirdness of the kind of Kardashian era of clout and fame way before that was even really a thing. But now let's get into this top 3. My number 3 song is Mud on the Tires.
Only one way to get there, you gotta get a little mud on the tires.
Mud on the Tires is just a good time. It's just a good time, and to me, it builds better than any other song on this list. First, we get this almost sort of outdoorsy, crickety sound with just a little bit of guitar, and then we get a lush build in the chorus with tons of fiddle and soaring vocals, and it's just it's a musical cornucopia to listen to. It's got humorous, punny lyrics. Mud on the Tires is as much about kind of getting out into the country as it is a euphemism for having a good, sexy time. There's a spot by the riverbank, but there's only one way to get there. We gotta get a little mud on the tires. It's kind of this coy wink at having a fun date night, if you get what I'm saying. And I would say it is a more successful, sexy euphemism than I'd sure like to check you for ticks. To me, that one's never fully worked. But how can you possibly listen to Mud on the Tires and not just be beaming with a huge smile? Now, my number 2 song might wipe away that smile, and it's Whiskey Lullaby.
He put that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger.
I said When I Get Where I'm Going might be one of the more serious songs on this list. This is definitely the most serious song on this list, and just so weird when you really step back and think about the fact that in 2004, there was a single that was released by a major label about a couple that just commits a double suicide in their sad, tragic love affair gone wrong, and that was a big hit. What is that in us that stirs up, that somehow hears something in this song and relates to it? It's kind of strange to think about. But the beauty and solemnness of this song is so undeniable. The almost Gregorian la 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 that goes all throughout the song adds this kind of funeral march vibe to it. Alison Krauss has the voice of an angel.
Nobody knew how much she blamed herself.
Truly, she has this angelic, beautiful tone that adds a sort of ethereal, heavenly quality to this song. And yet the somber, steel-driven sound of the song is so sad. This song is just gorgeous and weird and cool, and I don't even know why we all love it the way that we do, other than the fact that it makes life feel more real, because the stakes of life are represented in this song. It hurts, and there's some pain that we've all experienced that helps us interface, or maybe that this song helps us interface with. It's so cool. It's my number 2 song on the list. And my number 1 song on my top 10 Brad Paisley songs list, my favorite of all of them, is Letter to Me.
Oh, you got so much going for you, going right.
Now, I hadn't looked up the songwriters of all these songs before I made my list. First, I made my top 10 list because I didn't want to be biased by songwriters. And then I looked at songwriters. And there's only one song on this list that was only written by one person. and it was only written by Brad, and it's Letter to Me. And I feel like you hear it in the specificity of the lyrics. I feel like you're getting a specific perspective that captures seriousness, that captures faith and fate and humor so well in Letter to Me. It is a crazy concept of a song. He's saying, if I could write a letter to me. So we're getting this future version of Brad writing to his younger self and encouraging him. So there's a built-in hopefulness and kind of craziness to the song. But then all the things that he brings in of, make sure you hug Aunt Rita. I wish he'd studied Spanish. There's like a certain somberness and appreciation of life all captured in this strange framework of a song. And there's this acknowledgement that you can't possibly see your life clearly when you're looking ahead the way you can looking back.
At 17, it's hard to see past Friday night.
And just for Brad to say, like, you've got so much going for you. I'm getting choked up thinking about it because it is so hard growing up to feel that sense of pride. I'm getting there now in life. Now that I'm a 30-year-old man, I'm getting to that place where I can have a little bit healthier of a self-image. And I can look back and be like, man, I was really racked by shame and confusion and not knowing what life was going to have for me. And so to have this older figure say, you're going to be okay. Like, I related to that on the young end of things, and I relate to it on the older end of things, just wanting to tell young people, like a lot of you viewers, the same thing. And so there's something that song does to me, and it's so beautiful and just magic, truly magic. And so it's my number one most favorite Brad Paisley song. I think it's his best song. I think it'll be an enduring classic right there with a lot of the songs on this list. I had a lot of fun making this list. I would love to know what your guys' favorite Brad Paisley songs are, and let me know in the comments what your favorites are, which ones I left out. I'm sure you will tell me. And it's not so easy. It's not so easy. I'll say that. I always say that, making these lists. It's a harder task than you would think it is, especially when someone has a really deep bench like Brad Paisley. But I wanted to show him some love. He's one of my favorite artists, and I think when you really take a second look, you realize what a positive force he has been for country music, for good lyrics, for storytelling, for humor, and for the whole brand of country music. This is country music, just like Brad Paisley says, and I really love it. And I love that you guys love it too. So I will see you soon, and until the next video. Bye, guys.